Hi, my name is Stacy Maurier, and I'm the founding lawyer of Estate Connection Law Office. The pandemic has had big financial implications on a lot of families, and some people have found themselves having to lend their children or grandchildren money just to make them be able to survive through these months that we've been going through the pandemic. So the question is if something should happen to you, what do you want to have happen with those monies that you've lent? Now, I'm not talking about $100 here or there, or you took them out for dinner, but I'm talking about big money. Let's say anything over $1,000. What are you intending to have happen if something should happen to you? So, for example, maybe your son approached you last night and said he's having a hard time making his mortgage payment. And you wrote him a check for $2,000 so he could make his mortgage payment, and he deposited it. What do you want to have happen if you die? Should that loan be forgiven, so that it's just a gift and nobody needs to know about it? He doesn't have to account for it. Or is your intention that he repay those monies from his inheritance if something should happen to you? There's no right or wrong answer here. It's really what you want to have happen. So, a couple things. If you're lending this money to your child, make sure you have something on paper. In a perfect world, you would bring them down to a law office and we would do a promissory note. But I know a lot of people just won't take that stance. So maybe take out a piece of foolscap and write my name, Joe Blow, lends money to my son, Jay Blow. I'm lending him $1,000 and he is going to repay it within 12 months or whatever time period it should be at. That does a couple things. If something should happen to you, it outlines that there is a loan and it should be repaid so that it can be accounted for. If something happens to your child, or maybe they go through a divorce, it is a loan and you can identify that you are owed that money from the couple or from the estate. If you're intending to gift money, for instance, we once had an estate where someone had gifted money to a family member and said, it was quite a bit of money. I think it was $70,000 or $80,000. And they had said, I'm giving you this money and it's a gift from Santa. And it was a huge sum of money. Of course, the mom died, the person who was given that money, and that child wanted to repay those funds. He said it was a loan, even though it was a gift from Santa. So really, what was the intention there? Now, for those of you that have had gifts from Santa, very few of us are getting that kind of large sum of money. So maybe it's understandable that people think of it as a loan. But you can imagine the other beneficiaries looked at that check and said, look, it's a gift from Santa. There was no intention of having those funds repaid. So in that situation, it would have been nice if either A, there had actually been a note or some kind of documentation saying that this is a gift, or alternatively, that it's a loan and it can be repaid upon death or something like that. So if you've, over the COVID pandemic, lent your money, if you've lent money to your children over the COVID pandemic, make sure you look at your documentation and see what it says about gifts. Does it say monies given to your kids are forgiven and don't have to be accounted for? Does it say any monies you've given to your kids must be repaid? Or does it say nothing and you're opening the gate to litigation? Something we can do today to prevent problems in the future. If you found yourself in this situation and need someone to look over your documents, contact Estate Connection Law Office. We're here to help and we'll get it done so that if something happens to you, we don't have to worry about problems. You'll leave a legacy of love rather than a family that's fighting. Thank you.